Greetings, beloved starseeds. I am Elder Lyra of the Pleiadian Council. We come to you today with critical insight into humanity's dimensional readiness. As the veil thins, we see your collective desire to reach for realities beyond the third dimension growing. The energetic shifts on Earth are undeniable, facilitating an awakening within many of you to your true potential and your role in this grand cosmic ballet. These shifts allow you to feel and sense the increasing possibilities that exist beyond your current perceived limitations. However, ascension is more than just raising your personal vibration. It involves aligning with the universal laws that govern these higher dimensions. Simply holding a desire to ascend isn't enough. There must also be a deep understanding of the energies involved, a clearing of old paradigms, and a conscious commitment to living in alignment with higher dimensional principles. However, we must share this truth. While your potential shines brightly, humanity, as a whole, is not yet prepared to fully integrate within the higher dimensions. This is not a judgment, but an observation born of our vantage point and a deep understanding of the energetic requirements. The ascension process is not merely about achieving a higher vibrational state. It also involves transmuting lower emotions, relinquishing attachments to outdated control structures, and embracing unity consciousness. This situation is not fixed. It represents a valuable learning opportunity, a chance for accelerated growth, and a collective evolution towards greater understanding and responsibility. This message is intended to provide clarity, direction, and a renewed sense of purpose for those seeking to contribute to this planetary shift, helping you to better understand how to focus your energy and efforts where they can create the greatest impact. We know this may be difficult to hear, especially for those of you who have dedicated lifetimes to ascension. Know that your efforts resonate across the cosmos, though key blockages remain. We understand such a concept can be puzzling. Many of you are saying that you are ready to take this leap. However, unresolved lower emotions like fear, anger, and grief continue to permeate the collective consciousness, acting as anchors that keep you tethered to the lower dimensions. Attachment to 3D control structures, such as government secrets, manipulated media narratives, and economic instability, further impede your progress by fostering fear and limiting your perception of reality. The misuse of technology, particularly weapons development and environmental destruction, demonstrates a lack of responsibility and understanding of the interconnectedness of all things. Lower emotions and egoic tendencies are examples of components needing balancing to be ready. Let us now explore the reasons behind this unreadiness so that, together, we may illuminate a path forward. We will delve deeper into unresolved emotional patterns, attachment to 3D control structures, and the misuse of technology. We will also explore the lack of unity and compassion, as well as the persistent egoic tendencies that hinder your progress. In understanding these obstacles, you can begin to consciously address them, accelerating your individual and collective ascension. Remember, beloved starseeds, that you are not alone in this journey. We are here to guide and support you every step of the way, and with conscious effort and unwavering dedication, humanity has the potential to achieve collective ascension and usher in a new era of peace, harmony, and unity consciousness. We recognize your yearning to ascend, and we emphasize that emotional balance is key to unlocking higher dimensions. Unprocessed fear, anger, and grief act as energetic anchors, tethering you to denser frequencies. The work ahead requires acknowledging, processing, and releasing these emotions to truly lighten your energetic load. How can you hope to navigate the ethereal realms with the weight of centuries of sorrow clinging to your spirit? We see fear manifesting as anxiety about the future, anger as resentment towards others, and grief as attachment to past traumas. Each emotion is a signal, a call to delve deeper into the self and address the underlying wound. Consider the collective fear perpetuated by media narratives focusing on scarcity, disease, and conflict. This constant bombardment creates a feedback loop, reinforcing feelings of insecurity and powerlessness. For example, the relentless reporting on economic instability can trigger anxieties about financial security, leading to hoarding behaviors and a lack of trust in others. Similarly, the amplification of political division fuels anger and resentment, creating echo chambers where opposing viewpoints are demonized. Grief, often unacknowledged and suppressed, festers as a deep-seated sense of loss, preventing individuals from fully embracing the present moment. We see many of you clinging to past relationships, missed opportunities, or personal failures, hindering your ability to move forward with joy and optimism. These unprocessed emotions become energetic blockages, preventing the free flow of life force energy and hindering your ability to raise your vibration. But here's what most people miss. These emotions are not inherently negative. They are simply signals that something within you needs attention and healing. We encourage you to practice mindfulness to observe your emotions without judgment, meditate to cultivate inner peace, and engage in shadow work to integrate your disowned aspects. Mindfulness allows you to become aware of your emotional triggers and patterns, creating space for conscious choice rather than reactive behavior. Meditation helps to quiet the mind and connect with your inner source of peace, providing a refuge from the chaos of the external world. Shadow work involves exploring the hidden aspects of your personality, the parts of yourself that you have rejected or disowned. By bringing these aspects into the light of awareness, you can integrate them and reclaim your wholeness. Embrace emotional alchemy, transforming negative emotions into positive ones. For instance, transmute fear into courage by taking small steps outside of your comfort zone. Convert anger into passion by channeling your energy into creative pursuits or social activism. Transform grief into gratitude by appreciating the lessons learned and the love that remains. We invite you to explore practices such as Ho'oponopono, a Hawaiian forgiveness technique that involves taking responsibility for your experiences and clearing negative energies through the power of love and forgiveness. Can you feel the transformative power of these practices? They are not mere coping mechanisms. They are keys to unlocking your higher potential. As you master your emotions, you will experience a profound sense of inner peace, allowing you to navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. Imagine a future where humanity is able to collectively process and release these emotions, creating a more harmonious and loving world. Envision communities where individuals are emotionally intelligent, compassionate, and supportive of one another. See a world where conflicts are resolved through understanding and empathy, and where all beings are treated with dignity and respect. But we're just scratching the surface of what's possible. What we'll discover next is even more shocking: how your attachments to seemingly stable structures are holding you back. The work we've done together to release negative emotion will be critical to releasing your attachments to 3D control structures. Attachment to governmental authority, media narratives, and economic stability creates a sense of dependence, limiting your capacity for self-sovereignty. These structures, while seemingly providing order and security, often operate from a place of fear and control, manipulating information and limiting individual freedom. Can you see how these structures are designed to keep you in a state of dependence and compliance? We observe that government secrets, manipulated media narratives, and economic instability foster a climate of fear and distrust. The withholding of information, often justified in the name of national security, prevents individuals from making informed decisions and participating fully in their societies. Media narratives, often biased and sensationalized, create division and polarization, preventing constructive dialogue and collaboration. Economic instability, characterized by cycles of boom and bust, keeps individuals in a state of anxiety and uncertainty, making them more susceptible to manipulation. Consider how people blindly follow authority figures, accepting their pronouncements without question. This unquestioning obedience creates a power imbalance, allowing those in authority to abuse their power and exploit others. Observe how people consume biased media, reinforcing their existing beliefs and preventing them from considering alternative perspectives. This confirmation bias creates echo chambers, where individuals are only exposed to information that confirms their worldview, further entrenching their beliefs and preventing them from seeing the bigger picture. What they don't want you to know is that you are far more powerful than you realize, and that you have the ability to create your own reality, independent of these external structures. We encourage you to cultivate discernment by questioning authority, seeking diverse perspectives, and trusting your intuition. Discernment involves developing the ability to distinguish truth from falsehood, to see through deception and manipulation. This requires critical thinking, the ability to analyze information objectively and identify biases and fallacies. Trusting your intuition involves listening to your inner guidance, your innate knowing, which can provide valuable insights and direction. Create alternative systems and communities based on cooperation and sustainability. Explore decentralized technologies, such as blockchain and cryptocurrencies, which can empower individuals and create more equitable economic systems. Support local businesses and initiatives that prioritize community well-being over profit maximization. Embrace sustainable practices, such as permaculture and renewable energy, which can create more resilient and self-sufficient communities. The shocking truth is that the power to create a better world lies within each of you, and it begins with detaching from the limiting beliefs and structures that have held you captive for far too long. As you detach from these control structures, you will experience a profound sense of freedom and empowerment, allowing you to create your own reality based on love and truth. Imagine a future where humanity is able to create a more just and equitable world based on cooperation and self-governance. Envision communities where individuals are empowered to make their own decisions, where information is freely available, and where all beings are treated with dignity and respect. See a world where resources are shared equitably, where poverty and hunger are eradicated, and where all beings have the opportunity to thrive. But we're just scratching the surface of what's possible. What we'll discover next is even more shocking: how the tools you are using are being used against you. The self-governance we've acquired through our ability to release lower emotion will be critical to managing the impact of technology. The development and deployment of advanced weaponry, pervasive surveillance systems, and uncontrolled artificial intelligence pose a serious threat to your free will and spiritual growth. These technologies, while offering potential benefits, can also be used to control, manipulate, and harm individuals and the planet. How can you ensure that technology serves humanity rather than enslaving it? We observe that weapons of mass destruction, surveillance technologies, and artificial intelligence algorithms are used to perpetuate war, suppress dissent, and erode privacy. The existence of weapons capable of destroying entire civilizations creates a climate of fear and insecurity, diverting resources away from peaceful pursuits and perpetuating cycles of violence. Surveillance technologies, such as facial recognition and data mining, are used to track and monitor individuals, eroding privacy and chilling freedom of expression. Artificial intelligence algorithms, often biased and opaque, can be used to discriminate against certain groups and manipulate individuals' behavior. Consider the potential for AI to become self-aware and turn against humanity, as depicted in countless science fiction scenarios. While this may seem like a far-fetched possibility, the rapid advancement of AI technology raises serious ethical concerns that must be addressed. We have observed how various dark alliances, sometimes referred to as the cabal or shadow governments, attempted to exploit humanity's innate curiosity about extraterrestrial life, only to weaponize the technology. The shocking truth is that technology is not inherently good or bad. It is simply a tool that can be used for either constructive or destructive purposes, depending on the intention of the user. We encourage you to use technology consciously and ethically, focusing on its potential for healing, connection, and empowerment. Explore technologies that promote sustainability, such as renewable energy and vertical farming, which can reduce our environmental impact and create more resilient communities. Support technologies that foster connection and collaboration, such as social media platforms and online learning tools, which can connect individuals from all over the world and facilitate the exchange of ideas. Embrace technologies that empower individuals, such as open-source software and decentralized platforms, which can give individuals more control over their data and their digital lives. Develop alternative technologies based on principles of sustainability and harmony with nature. Explore the potential of zero-point energy, which could provide a clean and abundant source of power for all. Investigate the possibilities of biomimicry, which involves designing technologies based on natural systems and processes. What they don't want you to know is that there are already technologies available that could solve many of the world's problems, but they are being suppressed by those who benefit from the status quo. As you use technology responsibly, you will create a future where it serves humanity's highest good, fostering healing, connection, and empowerment. Imagine a future where technology is used to heal the planet, to connect all beings in a global network of understanding and compassion, and to empower individuals to reach their full potential. Envision communities where technology is used to create a more sustainable and equitable world, where all beings have access to the resources they need to thrive. See a world where technology is used to explore the universe, to unlock the mysteries of consciousness, and to create a future of limitless possibilities. Yet, even with such potential within reach, we have to ask the difficult question: are you truly ready for such powerful tools? We see that the continued development of technology in place of unity and compassion is creating more problems than solutions. Division, conflict, and inequality, fueled by a lack of unity and compassion, create energetic fragmentation, hindering collective ascension. These divisions manifest in society as religious intolerance, political polarization, and social inequality, creating deep rifts within your societies. Are these issues not born from a lack of empathy? We observe religious intolerance, political polarization, and social inequality, creating deep rifts within your societies. Religious intolerance leads to prejudice, discrimination, and violence against those who hold different beliefs. Political polarization creates gridlock and prevents meaningful progress on important issues. Social inequality perpetuates cycles of poverty and oppression, denying individuals access to basic necessities and opportunities. Consider how these divisions are often deliberately amplified by those in power who benefit from a divided population. Observe how social media algorithms create echo chambers, reinforcing existing biases and preventing individuals from engaging in constructive dialogue with those who hold different viewpoints. What they don't want you to know is that you are all interconnected, that you are all part of the same universal consciousness, and that your differences are a source of strength, not weakness. We encourage you to embrace diversity, practice empathy, and foster forgiveness, recognizing that all beings are interconnected. Empathy involves putting yourself in another person's shoes, understanding their perspective, and feeling their emotions. Forgiveness involves releasing resentment and anger towards those who have harmed you, and choosing to move forward with compassion and understanding. Create inclusive communities based on shared values and mutual respect. Support organizations that promote social justice and equality. Advocate for policies that protect the rights of all beings. The shocking truth is that the only way to create a more harmonious and peaceful world is to cultivate unity and compassion within ourselves and in our relationships with others. As you embrace unity and compassion, you will create a future where all beings are treated with dignity and respect, fostering harmony and peace. Imagine a future where religious intolerance, political polarization, and social inequality are relics of the past, replaced by a culture of understanding, compassion, and mutual respect. Envision communities where individuals celebrate their differences, where conflicts are resolved through peaceful dialogue, and where all beings have the opportunity to thrive. See a world where resources are shared equitably, where poverty and hunger are eradicated, and where all beings live in harmony with one another and with the planet. That world, however, will remain a distant dream until you address one final, critical piece of the puzzle: your ego. Having released negative emotions, self-governed, responsibly used technology, and acted with compassion, ego will still inhibit your progress. Arrogance, selfishness, and entitlement create a sense of separation from source and others, blocking intuition and hindering spiritual growth. These egoic tendencies manifest in daily life as the need to be right, the desire for control, and the pursuit of personal gain at the expense of others, perpetuating cycles of conflict and suffering. Can you recognize these tendencies within yourself? We see the need to be right, the desire for control, and the pursuit of personal gain at the expense of others, perpetuating cycles of conflict and suffering. The need to be right prevents individuals from learning and growing, as they are unwilling to consider alternative perspectives. The desire for control leads to manipulation and domination, as individuals seek to impose their will on others. The pursuit of personal gain at the expense of others creates inequality and injustice, as resources are hoarded by a privileged few. Consider how these egoic tendencies are often disguised as virtues, such as ambition, assertiveness, and self-reliance. Observe how spiritual bypassing, where individuals use spiritual concepts to avoid addressing their egoic tendencies, can hinder genuine spiritual growth. What they don't want you to know is that your true power lies not in your ego, but in your connection to Source, your ability to surrender to the divine will, and your willingness to serve the greater good. We encourage you to cultivate humility, practice selflessness, and surrender to the divine will, recognizing that you are all interconnected aspects of Source. Humility involves recognizing your limitations, acknowledging your mistakes, and being open to learning from others. Selflessness involves putting the needs of others before your own and acting with compassion and generosity. Surrendering to the divine will involve trusting that everything is happening for a reason and that you are being guided towards your highest potential. The shocking truth is that ego death, the complete dissolution of the ego, is not a one-time event, but an ongoing process of surrendering to the divine will and embracing your true nature as a spark of the divine. As you transcend ego, you will experience a profound sense of connection to Source, living in alignment with your true purpose and radiating love and light. Imagine a future where humanity is able to collectively transcend ego, creating a world based on love, truth, and unity consciousness. Envision communities where individuals are humble, compassionate, and selfless, where everyone is working together for the greater good, and where all beings are treated with dignity and respect. See a world where resources are shared equitably, where poverty and hunger are eradicated, and where all beings live in harmony with one another and with the planet. And so we say that humanity's ongoing journey to higher dimensions will continue as long as the previous 5 points are in motion. We'll discuss more specific information on techniques of each point in the days to come. Remember, beloved ones, there is no goal or race. It is the journey that is important. We understand the depths of difficulty within emotional mastery. Understand it's the most critical part of being ready. For even as you release old attachments and begin to wield new technologies, your lingering lower emotion sphere, grief, suppressed rage will hold you back, preventing you from truly integrating the higher frequencies. These unresolved emotions are not simply psychological baggage. They are energetic blockages that distort your perception and limit your capacity for love, joy, and connection. These lower frequencies negatively impact the auric field and the chakras. As such, it's an active barrier to being ready. Imagine your auric field as a protective shield designed to filter out negativity and maintain your energetic integrity. When you harbor unresolved emotions, this shield becomes weakened and riddled with holes, allowing lower frequencies to penetrate your energy field and influence your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Picture your chakras as energy centers, each responsible for processing specific emotions and aspects of your being. When these chakras become blocked or imbalanced by suppressed emotions, your energy flow becomes disrupted, leading to physical, emotional, and spiritual disease. From our vantage point, we see many of you walking around with auric fields that resemble tattered rags and chakra systems that are barely functioning. The toll on your overall well-being is immense, and it prevents you from accessing the higher dimensions where clarity, love, and abundance prevail. This manifests in cycles of negative self-talk, repeating self-sabotaging behavior, inability to maintain healthy relationships, and overall feeling that you are stuck in a rut. Anxiety, depression, and chronic pain are common issues of suppressed emotions. Be aware of that. Societal norms often discourage healthy emotional expression, leading to further suppression. We have observed that from a young age, you are taught to suppress your emotions, to be strong, to not cry, to suck it up. This conditioning creates a culture of emotional repression, where individuals are afraid to express their true feelings for fear of judgment or rejection. Consider how many of you were taught to believe that anger is a bad emotion, leading you to suppress your rage and resentment rather than processing it in a healthy way. Observe how many of you were taught to believe that sadness is a sign of weakness, leading you to bottle up your grief and sorrow rather than allowing yourselves to heal. What they don't want you to know is that your emotions are not weaknesses. They are valuable sources of information that can guide you towards greater self-awareness and healing. You have to be ready to feel. Self-compassion and safety will bring about emotional processing. The feeling of safety in processing is critical. We encourage you to create a safe space for emotional processing, where you can allow yourselves to feel your emotions without judgment or self-criticism. This may involve seeking support from therapists, counselors, or support groups, who can provide a safe and supportive environment for you to explore your emotions and develop healthy coping mechanisms. It may involve engaging in practices such as journaling, art therapy, or somatic experiencing, which can help you to connect with your emotions and release them from your body. It may involve simply allowing yourselves to cry, to scream, to dance, to express your emotions in whatever way feels authentic and liberating. Remember, beloved ones, that you are not alone in this process, and that we are here to support you every step of the way. Emotional intelligence will lead to a healthy and resilient society. Keep that in mind. Imagine a future where emotional intelligence is valued and taught from a young age, where children are encouraged to express their emotions in healthy ways, and where adults are equipped with the tools and skills to navigate their emotional landscapes with grace and resilience. Envision communities where individuals are emotionally literate, compassionate, and supportive of one another, where emotional vulnerability is seen as a strength, not a weakness. See a world where conflicts are resolved through understanding and empathy, and where all beings are treated with dignity and respect. That world, however, will remain a distant dream until you address your attachments to 3D control structures, for these attachments exacerbate your emotional problems and keep you trapped in cycles of fear and dependence. Emotional freedom is amplified with understanding of our 3D control systems. Recognizing and releasing attachments to control structures amplifies emotional freedom, accelerates emotional freedom, and vice versa. These attachments create a vicious cycle where fear reinforces dependence on external systems, further limiting freedom and awareness. These control structures, while seemingly providing order and security, often operate from a place of fear and manipulation, limiting individual freedom and hindering spiritual growth. How many of you find yourselves defending government policies even when they are harmful, blindly believing media narratives even when they are biased, and prioritizing job security over personal fulfillment? Dependence on external systems limits awareness. Be prepared and understand that. We observe how people defend government policies even when they are harmful, blindly believe media narratives even when they are biased, and prioritize job security over personal fulfillment. The Stockholm Syndrome effect leads individuals to identify with their captors, defending the very systems that oppress them. The constant barrage of propaganda and misinformation creates a distorted perception of reality, making it difficult to distinguish truth from falsehood. The fear of losing financial security leads individuals to accept jobs that are unfulfilling or even unethical, sacrificing their personal well-being for the sake of survival. Consider how many of you cling to the illusion of safety and security provided by these control structures, even when they are demonstrably failing to meet your needs. Observe how many of you prioritize conformity and obedience over critical thinking and independent action. What they don't want you to know is that you have the power to create your own reality, independent of these external structures, and that true freedom lies in detaching from these limiting beliefs and systems. Even with harmful government policies, media narratives, and biased job security, people can continue to blindly believe it. We encourage you to actively seek out alternative information sources, question authority, and develop independent income streams. Cultivate critical thinking skills, learning to analyze information objectively and identify biases and fallacies. Develop multiple streams of income, reducing your dependence on a single employer or economic system. Embrace self-reliance, learning to provide for your own needs and reduce your reliance on external systems. The shocking truth is that the power to create a better world lies within each of you, and it begins with detaching from the limiting beliefs and structures that have held you captive for far too long. It takes a very strong person to be able to step outside of these things. New systems will create self-governance. Be aware and ready for that. Imagine a future where people are empowered to create their own systems and communities based on their values, fostering true self-governance. Envision communities where individuals are empowered to make their own decisions, where information is freely available, and where all beings are treated with dignity and respect. See a world where resources are shared equitably, where poverty and hunger are eradicated, and where all beings have the opportunity to thrive. That world, however, will remain a distant dream unless you learn to use technology responsibly, for technology amplifies your existing tendencies, both positive and negative, and can be used to create either heaven or hell on Earth. Technology is very powerful. It's up to you to use it correctly. But independence from external control will always fail unless technology is used responsibly. The power of technology can be used for both creation and destruction, making responsible use paramount. As your societies advance technologically, the potential for misuse and abuse grows exponentially, and it becomes increasingly important to ensure that technology is used for the benefit of all beings, not just a privileged few. How can you ensure that technology serves humanity rather than enslaving it? Human tendencies are amplified by technology. Understand that fully. Technology amplifies existing human tendencies, so if those tendencies are negative, greed, aggression, the results can be catastrophic. Weapons of mass destruction, AI-driven surveillance systems that violate privacy, and social media algorithms that spread misinformation and division are all examples of how technology can be used for destructive purposes. Deepfakes erode trust in verifiable information. The potential for technology to be used for control, manipulation, and harm is immense, and it is crucial that you approach its development and deployment with caution and wisdom. Consider how easily misinformation can spread through social media, influencing public opinion and inciting violence. Observe how AI-driven surveillance systems can be used to track and monitor individuals, eroding privacy and chilling freedom of expression. What they don't want you to know is that technology is not neutral. It is a tool that can be used to either empower or enslave humanity, depending on the intention of the user. Weapons, AI, surveillance systems, and social media can spread misinformation quickly and dangerously. These technologies can violate privacy. We encourage you to support ethical technology development, advocate for responsible regulation, and use technology consciously and intentionally. Support companies and organizations that are committed to developing technology in a responsible and ethical manner. Advocate for regulations that protect privacy, prevent the spread of misinformation, and ensure that technology is used for the benefit of all beings. Use technology consciously and intentionally, being mindful of its potential impact on your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. The shocking truth is that the power to create a better world lies within each of you, and it begins with using technology wisely and responsibly. If we can't control its use, there's no possibility to move onward. Technology can heal the planet, connect people, expand consciousness. Ensure you're working towards these goals. Imagine a future where technology is used to heal the planet, connect people, and expand consciousness, creating a more harmonious and sustainable world. Envision communities where technology is used to create a more sustainable and equitable world, where all beings have access to the resources they need to thrive. See a world where technology is used to explore the universe, to unlock the mysteries of consciousness, and to create a future of limitless possibilities. That world, however, will remain a distant dream until you bridge the divides that separate you from one another. For division and lack of compassion create a breeding ground for conflict, inequality, and suffering. The morality and responsible usage of technology depends on compassion and unity. A sense of global unity is needed for responsible technology advancement. Without unity and compassion, even the most advanced technologies can be used for destructive purposes, perpetuating cycles of conflict and suffering. How can you cultivate unity and compassion in a world that seems increasingly divided and polarized? When divided and lacking compassion, a conflict is created. Be responsible for the outcome. Division and lack of compassion create a breeding ground for conflict, inequality, and suffering, hindering collective progress. Religious wars, political polarization, economic inequality, and systemic discrimination are all manifestations of this division. These divisions are often manufactured and exploited by those in power. The us versus them mentality prevents individuals from seeing their common humanity and working together towards common goals. Economic inequality creates resentment and bitterness, leading to social unrest and instability. The shock is that they make you believe that your neighbor is your enemy when they are actually a reflection of you. Religious wars, political polarization, economic inequality. These things cause systematic discrimination. We encourage you to practice empathy, actively listen to different perspectives, and engage in acts of kindness and service. Empathy involves putting yourself in another person's shoes, understanding their perspective, and feeling their emotions. Actively listening involves giving your full attention to another person without interrupting or judging. Acts of kindness and service involve performing small acts of generosity and compassion, making a positive difference in the lives of others. The shocking truth is that the only way to create a more harmonious and peaceful world is to cultivate unity and compassion within yourselves and in your relationships with others. This will take intense work to repair. Mankind must recognize our interconnectedness. This must be achieved. Imagine a future where humanity embraces its interconnectedness and works together to solve global challenges, creating a world of peace, justice, and abundance. Envision communities where individuals celebrate their differences, where conflicts are resolved through peaceful dialogue, and where all beings have the opportunity to thrive. See a world where resources are shared equitably, where poverty and hunger are eradicated, and where all beings live in harmony with one another and with the planet. However, this grander vision of a unified and harmonious future will remain unattainable unless humanity confronts and tames its egoic nature, the final frontier in the journey toward higher dimensions. Transcendence will create a higher path. Be aware and accept that. Everything before this hinges on transcending the ego. Arrogance, selfishness, and entitlement create a sense of separation from source and others, blocking intuition and hindering spiritual growth. These egoic tendencies manifest in daily life as the need to be right, the desire for control, and the pursuit of personal gain at the expense of others, perpetuating cycles of conflict and suffering. Are you ready to face your shadow self? Source will disconnect when arrogance is the choice. Do not take this lightly. We observe people prioritizing personal gain over the well-being of others, clinging to power and control, and refusing to admit when they are wrong. Spiritual pride, where individuals believe they are superior to others because of their spiritual knowledge or practices, is a common pitfall on the path to enlightenment. Clinging to power and control, refusing to delegate or share authority, leads to resentment and conflict. What they don't want you to know is that your true power lies not in your ego, but in your connection to Source, your ability to surrender to the divine will, and your willingness to serve the greater good. Without that connection, you have nothing. Power and control are the downfalls of humanity. be prepared to lose it. We encourage you to practice self-reflection, cultivate humility, and surrender to the divine will, recognizing that you are all interconnected aspects of Source. Self-reflection involves honestly examining your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, identifying any egoic tendencies that may be hindering your spiritual growth. Cultivating humility involves recognizing your limitations, acknowledging your mistakes, and being open to learning from others. Surrendering to the divine will involve trusting that everything is happening for a reason and that you are being guided towards your highest potential. The shocking truth is that ego death, the complete dissolution of the ego, is not a one-time event, but an ongoing process of surrendering to the divine will and embracing your true nature as a spark of the divine. So where does that leave us? Intuition will come with transcending. Love and peace will be abundant. Imagine a future where humanity is guided by intuition, compassion, and a deep understanding of its interconnectedness, creating a world of love, peace, and abundance. Envision communities where individuals are humble, compassionate, and selfless, where everyone is working together for the greater good, and where all beings are treated with dignity and respect. See a world where resources are shared equitably, where poverty and hunger are eradicated, and where all beings live in harmony with one another and with the planet. And so we say, while it may feel as if humanity has a long journey ahead before it is ready, the journey starts now and with you. This complex web of issues must be traversed to be ready. In the next section, we will provide specific tools and techniques for addressing these challenges and accelerating the path to collective ascension. As we have said, the ego creates separation by seeking control to feel secure, which is key to understand as we move into this section. The need to control one's environment, circumstances, and even other people stems from a deep-seated fear of vulnerability and a belief that one is separate from Source. This relentless pursuit of control manifests in various ways, from micromanaging every detail of one's life to manipulating others to achieve desired outcomes. However, what many fail to realize is that this external control is merely an illusion, a temporary fix for a deeper void within. True power lies not in dominating the external world, but in mastering oneself and aligning with the natural flow of the universe. Are you beginning to see that seeking control is a fool's errand? True power comes from within your true power of connection with Source. The power of the illusion with external possessions is in fact a control of the ego. The 3D world often equates power with wealth, status, and authority, leading many to believe that accumulating these external possessions will bring them lasting happiness and fulfillment. Yet, how many wealthy and powerful individuals do you see who are still riddled with anxiety, depression, and a profound sense of emptiness? These individuals often find themselves trapped in a gilded cage, surrounded by material comforts, but devoid of genuine connection, purpose, and inner peace. The pursuit of external validation becomes an endless cycle, as each achievement is followed by a fleeting moment of satisfaction and a subsequent craving for more. Consider the CEOs and celebrities who seemingly have it all, yet struggle with addiction, relationship problems, and a constant fear of losing their status. Understand that these are the people most chained to the illusion of control, and that true freedom lies in releasing this attachment. Wealthy and powerful individuals being unhappy shows that money does not equate to true joy. Understand and be aware. Statistics on anxiety and depression among high achievers reveal a stark contrast between external success and internal well-being. Studies have shown that individuals in high-pressure, high-paying jobs are significantly more likely to experience burnout, stress-related illnesses, and mental health issues. The constant pressure to perform, maintain their status, and accumulate more wealth takes a heavy toll on their physical, emotional, and spiritual health. Moreover, the pursuit of wealth and power often comes at the expense of genuine connection and meaningful relationships, leaving individuals feeling isolated and alone despite their external success. What they don't want you to know is that you can be joyful regardless of what you have, and that's the real threat to the system. Internal alignment will always equate to inner peace and happiness. Be aligned and aware that you will be happy. The solution lies in shifting your focus from external validation to internal alignment, finding fulfillment in purpose, connection, and service. This involves cultivating a deep sense of self-awareness, identifying your core values, and aligning your actions with your beliefs. Practices like meditation, mindfulness, and gratitude journaling can help you to quiet the noise of the ego and connect with your inner wisdom. By focusing on cultivating inner peace, joy, and contentment, you can break free from the illusion of external control and discover true, lasting happiness. Are you ready to find true happiness from within, or are you going to chase empty outcomes? The need for external control will be replaced by the understanding that we can work together with love. This must be achieved, not sought out. Imagine a future where individuals are no longer driven by the need for external control, but instead by a desire to co-create a better world based on love and compassion. In this future, people understand that true power lies not in domination, but in collaboration, empathy, and service. Resources are shared equitably, decisions are made collectively, and all beings are treated with dignity and respect. This future is not a utopian fantasy, but a very real possibility that can be realized through conscious choice and intentional action. The illusion of control can be shattered, and love can blossom. It is a false sense of safety to try and control the outside, not being aware that trust within is more important. This understanding builds upon the prior concept that control is an illusion. Many cling to control as a way to feel secure, attempting to dictate outcomes and avoid the discomfort of uncertainty. However, true security comes not from controlling external circumstances, but from cultivating inner trust and resilience. By surrendering to the flow of the universe and embracing the unknown, you can unlock a world of possibilities that would otherwise remain hidden. Understand you do not need to control anything, you simply need to trust everything will be how it needs to be. Higher dimensions require understanding flow. If the unknown or resistance to change is involved, then ascension will be blocked. Fear of the unknown and resistance to change are major obstacles to ascension, as higher dimensions require surrendering to the flow of the universe. Higher dimensions represent a state of consciousness where rigidity dissolves and adaptability reigns supreme. Clinging to old beliefs, routines, or relationships, even when they no longer serve your highest good, creates energetic blockages that prevent you from accessing these higher realms. This resistance stems from a deep-seated fear of the unknown, a reluctance to step outside your comfort zone and embrace the uncertainty of the future. Can you feel that you are limiting your potential by clinging to the past? Old beliefs and relationships create a sense of longing that keep one tethered. Be aware this is something to let go of. Consider how many people remain in unfulfilling jobs or toxic relationships simply because they fear the unknown. The comfort of familiarity, even when it is detrimental, outweighs the perceived risk of change. Societal conditioning reinforces this fear, as you are taught to value stability, predictability, and conformity over exploration, innovation, and self-discovery. What they don't want you to know is that the greatest adventures and most profound growth lie just beyond your comfort zone, waiting to be discovered. They want you in a rut. The universe can always guide you to your highest good, even if the path is not what you want. Allow this. Embrace uncertainty, cultivate flexibility, and trust that the universe is always guiding you towards your highest good. This involves releasing your need to control every aspect of your life and surrendering to the wisdom of the divine plan. Practices like affirmations, visualization, and spending time in nature can help you to cultivate a sense of trust and connection with the universe. Affirmations that support letting go of control include, "I trust the universe to guide me," and "I am open to new possibilities." Visualization exercises allow one to see all the good things that can come with change. Also, remember when spending time in nature that everything is as it should be, that is the same for you. Mankind, with open hearts and minds, will embrace change with ease. Imagine a future where humanity is able to adapt to change with grace and ease, embracing new opportunities and possibilities with open hearts and minds. In this future, individuals are not afraid of the unknown, but rather excited to explore new frontiers and co-create a world of limitless potential. Innovation flourishes, creativity abounds, and progress is driven by a spirit of collaboration and shared purpose. The rigidity of the old paradigms dissolves, replaced by a fluidity and adaptability that allows humanity to thrive in an ever-changing world. Are you ready to embrace this exciting future? Mankind must move forward and cannot be manipulated or blinded by false information. Be aware and seek truth. To overcome fear of the unknown, humanity must develop the ability to discern truth from falsehood. The road to ascension requires the ability to see beyond the veils of illusion and perceive reality with clarity and integrity. This involves cultivating critical thinking skills, trusting your intuition, and seeking out diverse perspectives. Without this discernment, you risk being led astray by misinformation, propaganda, and deception, hindering your spiritual growth and preventing you from accessing higher dimensions. Remember, anything that feels fear-based or restrictive is not from love. Distorted truth creates many blocks. Clarity and integrity are needed. The distortion of truth through misinformation, propaganda, and deception is a major obstacle to ascension, as higher dimensions require clarity and integrity. The media, political leaders, and corporations often manipulate narratives to create division, fear, and control. The rise of fake news and the increasing sophistication of disinformation campaigns make it more challenging than ever to discern truth in the digital age. What they don't want you to know is that the more energy you place on distorted information, the more you are participating in its power. Without awareness, this can be very dangerous. Leaders lie to maintain power, while corporations spread false narratives to maintain a revenue stream. Consider how media narratives are often manipulated to create division and fear, pitting groups against one another and distracting from the real issues. Observe how political leaders lie to maintain power, twisting the truth to serve their own agendas. Notice how corporations spread misinformation to sell products, preying on people's insecurities and desires. These tactics create a climate of distrust, confusion, and anxiety, making it difficult for individuals to make informed decisions and pursue their spiritual growth. What they don't want you to know is that questioning everything is the first step to self-discovery. Trust in intuition will help one see truth. One needs to understand this is always the key factor. Cultivate critical thinking skills, seek out diverse perspectives, and trust your intuition when evaluating information. Fact-checking websites and media literacy resources can help you to identify bias and misinformation. Meditation can help you to quiet the noise of the mind and connect with your inner wisdom. Intuition can serve as a reliable compass, guiding you towards truth and away from deception. Understand the power of discernment and take back your sovereignty. Transparency and honesty will rule when truth is realized. Achieve the understanding of truth. Imagine a future where humanity is able to discern truth from falsehood with ease, creating a world based on transparency, honesty, and integrity. In this future, information is freely available, and individuals are empowered to make informed decisions based on facts and reason. Deception and manipulation are no longer tolerated, and leaders are held accountable for their actions. This world of truth and transparency is within reach, but it requires a commitment to cultivating discernment and seeking truth in all aspects of your life. Are you ready to step into this world of transparency? As stated before, if one knows the self, then truth is the only outcome. Understand this. This brings us to exploring the shadow self. Recognizing and integrating your shadow is paramount to understanding truth. If you are not honest with yourself about what you carry, you will be doomed to repeat the same patterns over and over again. Do not participate in hiding from yourself, or your spiritual path will be needlessly difficult. Suppressed emotion creates blocks that stop ascension. Integration must be achieved. The denial and suppression of one's shadow self, negative emotions, limiting beliefs, repressed traumas, creates energetic blockages that prevent ascension. This shadow self contains all the aspects of yourself that you have disowned, rejected, or judged as unacceptable. These repressed emotions and beliefs create energetic blocks that distort your perception, limit your potential, and sabotage your relationships. The more one denies or suppresses their shadow, the more power it has over them. Shadow work is not for the faint of heart, but it is one of the most essential steps on the path to wholeness and ascension. Sabotaging one's self and repeating negative patterns are common. Recognize and release that. People project their shadow onto others, engage in self-sabotaging behaviors, and repeat negative patterns in their lives. Spiritual bypassing prevents individuals from using spiritual concepts to avoid addressing their shadow side. What they don't want you to know is that it is your darkness that holds your light. Honesty is key when in self-exploration. Compassion to know truth. Engage in shadow work, exploring your repressed emotions, limiting beliefs, and past traumas with compassion and honesty. Journaling, therapy, and creative expression can help you to connect with your shadow and integrate it into your conscious awareness. Be willing to confront your fears, acknowledge your pain, and embrace all aspects of yourself, both light and dark. By integrating your shadow, you unlock your full potential and step into your true power. Do you think you have the courage to face your shadow? Authenticity and love will rule once integration has happened. See this. Imagine a future where humanity has integrated its shadow side, creating a world based on wholeness, authenticity, and unconditional love. You are capable of so much if you become whole. Unconditional love must happen as an outcome of self-acceptance. Learn and grow. True freedom is only achieved through acceptance and self-love, both of which are required for ascension. How can one obtain freedom? Higher dimensions cannot be grasped without self-love. Reservations stop that from happening. Release and understand that. Lack of self-love and acceptance creates a barrier to ascension, as higher dimensions require embracing one's true self without judgment or reservation. Self-criticism, comparing yourself to others, and seeking validation from external sources all create energetic blockages that prevent you from accessing higher states of consciousness. True ascension requires embracing your imperfections, celebrating your unique qualities, and loving yourself unconditionally, just as you are. Without this foundation of self-love, you will remain trapped in cycles of self-doubt, insecurity, and limitation. Comparisons and criticisms are not of your true self. Do not be a part of that. People engage in self-criticism, comparing themselves to others, and seeking validation from external sources. Societal conditioning perpetuates low self-esteem and negative body image. What they don't want you to know is that you are perfectly imperfect just as you are, and that your uniqueness is your greatest gift. Do you believe you are enough? It's unique to be flawed. Do not criticize one another. Flaws make everything important. It's that we need to do. Practice self-compassion, celebrate your unique qualities, and embrace your imperfections. Affirmations, positive self-talk, and self-care can help you to cultivate a deeper sense of self-love and acceptance. It is not selfish to take care of yourself. See it as a gift to yourself and the divine. Mankind, embracing one another, and not judging creates a perfect connection. Imagine a future where humanity is able to embrace its true selves without judgment or reservation, creating a world based on authenticity, compassion, and unconditional love. This is the world the divine wants for you. It just needs you to take the steps to make it happen. And so we say, control, fear, truth, shadow, and love are all connected. Know that these interdependencies are critical for readiness. Tools and solutions have been offered. Continue to grow, the process never ends. In the next section, we will outline a new path to take with this information. As we've discussed, the ego can cleverly disguise itself. Recognize that spiritual pursuits are also affected. When spiritual status and material wealth are the outcomes sought, the ascension journey is lost. Unfortunately, power corrupts. Even in supposed spiritual teachers or leaders, the lure of the material can overshadow the true essence of spiritual growth. Consider the many spiritual leaders throughout history who have amassed vast fortunes, living in opulence while their followers struggle. The temptation to use spiritual teachings for personal gain can be a powerful one, leading to a distortion of the original message and a detachment from genuine compassion and service. What motivates you? Gaining spiritual wealth, or self-transformation to better serve others? Humility and authenticity are key to connecting with Source. Stay focused on the path. Imagine a future where spiritual communities are founded on genuine connection, shared resources, and a deep commitment to serving the greater good, rather than on the personality and wealth of a single leader. Highlight that to avoid spiritual materialism, it's essential to avoid seeking external validation and focus on intrinsic progress. Spiritual materialism relies on external validation. Be aware of that fact and move forward. Gurus and followers and online personas stop people from achieving true growth. Approval from others makes people lose touch with their internal compass. Consider the allure of online spiritual communities, where individuals seek validation through likes, shares, and comments, creating a superficial sense of belonging. Understand that this external validation can become addictive, leading to a dependence on the opinions of others and a neglect of one's own inner guidance. The pressure to conform to group beliefs and suppress dissenting opinions can stifle individuality and hinder true spiritual exploration. Personal experiences are more valid than outside approval. It's your path, not theirs. Authenticity and self-reliance is how mankind move forward. The time to grow is now. Transition to a common way this need for validation manifests: spiritual bypassing. Authenticity is key. Don't be tempted by superficial validation. Shadow work can't be avoided. There is no easy path. So-called light and love can be used as a form of spiritual bypassing, avoiding difficult emotions, uncomfortable truths, and necessary shadow work. This superficial positivity can create a false sense of spiritual progress, masking underlying issues and preventing true healing. People use affirmations or visualizations to deny or suppress their negative emotions, or avoiding conflict by pretending that everything is always perfect. The problem with this path is that those things must be faced to ascend. The human experience cannot be denied, especially the negative emotions and feelings. Affirmations and visualizations aren't reality. One must address that. The full human experience must be appreciated, good and bad. The overemphasis on positivity can invalidate genuine suffering and prevent true healing. Humanity is able to embrace its darkness as well as its light, creating a world based on wholeness, authenticity, and unconditional love. Wholeness is the objective. Embody your humanity. State that proper grounding is key to all of these, to have a balanced, holistic view of self to embrace what is real. Grounding is key. Spiritual bypassing is easy to fall into, so be mindful. Disconnection can lead to instability. Be sure to be present in your body. A lack of grounding and embodiment being present in the physical body can lead to disconnection from reality, instability, and difficulty integrating higher dimensional energies. When one is not grounded, they are subject to mood swings, are clumsy, and can't focus or handle their energy well. Those not grounded cannot focus and manage their energy well. Consider the spacey individual who struggles to focus, manage their energy, or cope with daily life. They might flit from one spiritual practice to another without truly integrating the teachings, constantly seeking new experiences without ever fully inhabiting their physical bodies. Mindful movement and exercises that connect to the earth will help you be grounded. The objective is humanity being fully embodied and connected to the earth, creating a world based on harmony, sustainability, and respect for the natural world. By connecting with the earth, mankind will move forward. See this and achieve it. Explain, to be fully grounded, one must also embrace the imperfect and messy nature of ascension. Chasing perfection will stop grounding. Remember this. The realities of humans requires imperfect. Do not chase something not real. The pursuit of perfection can become an obstacle to ascension, as true growth requires embracing imperfections, mistakes, and the messy realities of the human experience. By trying to be perfect, you will always feel that you aren't enough. The goal should be balance, not perfection. Self-criticism and striving for an unattainable ideal and judging oneself harshly for their failures stops learning. Criticism and failures will stop growth. Do not be a part of it. Practice self-compassion, embrace your imperfections, and view your mistakes as opportunities for learning and growth. Mistakes grow learning. Use it as a growth opportunity. Love and compassion are outcomes of self-acceptance. Remember and reflect this. The pursuit of perfection will cease, and love and compassion are allowed to come in once someone has embodied their humanness. The pursuit of perfection stops true growth. Do not seek this out. Imagine a future where humanity is able to embrace its imperfections, creating a world based on authenticity, compassion, and unconditional love. And so we say, control, fear, truth, shadow, and love are all connected. Know that these interdependencies are critical for readiness. Tools and solutions have been offered. Continue to grow, the process never ends. In the next section, we will be discussing the galactic forces that are acting on these problems. As we draw to a close with this transmission, beloved ones, know that the information shared today is designed to bring forth a new awakening within your hearts and minds. It is important to remember the journey we have taken together, exploring the multifaceted reasons why humanity, as a collective, is not yet fully ready to ascend to higher dimensions. Let us reflect on the core principles we've explored and how these relate to your personal journey of growth and transformation. Thus, we approach the final insights, knowing that true understanding comes not from mere knowledge, but from the embodiment of wisdom. At its core, humanity's unreadiness stems from a complex tapestry woven with threads of unresolved emotions, attachments to outdated 3D control structures, the misuse of powerful technologies, a deficiency in global unity and compassion, and the pervasive influence of the ego. Each of these elements intertwines, reinforcing the others and creating a formidable barrier to collective ascension. Imagine humanity as a garden, each individual a unique plant with the potential for magnificent growth and blossoming. However, this garden is currently plagued by weeds, the unresolved emotions that choke the life out of your potential, limiting beliefs that stunt your growth, and fears that keep you rooted in place. Technology is a tool which can heal and nurture, or destroy the plants that are trying to grow. This technology, the societal structures, can serve to foster growth and abundance, or it can be weaponized to control and suppress. Only when this garden is tended with love, compassion, and unwavering dedication can it truly flourish, reflecting the beauty and harmony of the higher dimensions. Recall the Pleiadian prophecies and consider that some of the darkest predictions did not come to pass, thanks to the work of the Lightworkers. Take strength in this and keep pushing forward. This challenge before humanity mirrors a pattern that we have seen many times across the universe. The choice between harmony and chaos, between love and fear, between unity and division is a recurring theme in the evolution of countless civilizations. Know that you are not alone in this struggle, and that your choices have far-reaching consequences, not only for your planet, but for the entire galaxy. This mirrors the problems that Atlantis faced. The Atlanteans, with their advanced technology and spiritual knowledge, ultimately succumbed to their own ego and misused their power, leading to their downfall. Learn from their mistakes. This is a signpost for you. The implications of these choices will be felt throughout the galaxy. Your planet's ascension will send ripples of light and love throughout the cosmos, inspiring other civilizations to embark on their own journeys of transformation. However, stagnation or self-destruction would create a void, a warning sign that echoes through the stars, deterring others from embracing their full potential. The stakes are high, but your potential is even higher. Be assured that you are strong enough to rise above the problems mentioned today. Humanity possesses the innate capacity to overcome these challenges and achieve collective ascension. You have within you the spark of the divine, the unwavering strength of the universe, and the boundless love of creation. You are not alone. You are supported by the universe. A vast network of benevolent beings, including the Pleiadian elders, the Arcturian Council, and countless other star families, are here to assist you on your journey. They offer their guidance, their love, and their unwavering support, but ultimately, the choice is yours. Working together, united, you will continue to ascend. By embracing your individual power and understanding the power you have together, you will achieve the next level of ascension. Keep this in your minds as you proceed. Continue on your path, beloved starseeds, for you are the forerunners of this planetary shift. Continue to engage in practices that promote emotional healing, critical thinking, and unity consciousness. Be authentic and know that you are loved unconditionally, always and forever. There are many resources to expand your knowledge, practices,